Buono estente. Welcome to un special episodio ton Hard Sell, ton programa qui ton stick in the swell bucket rattles back. Mantinato.
Have a break.
I'll do the whole show in this voice, but I'll get tired of this. Indeed. I was supposed to make it earlier on in the month at the time of recording, but I procrastinated myself. Chris Waddle. We're still kinda in the age of Craventhorne. And as of the time of making this hard sell, it's still there. And luckily enough, there was no last sacrifice that forced us to live in hard-runs. Usually this time of the year was the time when people would go on vacation to Southern Europe. And one of those places was Malta, the only country in the world whose language came straight out of the hard sells Republica.
Ivvota l-personalità favorita tiegħek fuq Television Malta u irbaħ 1000 lira cash, jew 2329 euro u 37 euro ċentesmi. Ibad SMS fuq 50614042 bl-isem tal-personalità favorita tiegħek fuq Television Malta u tidħol fiċ-ċans li terbaħ 1000 lira cash. Grazzi tal-li tagħżel Television Malta bħala l-istazzjon favorit tiegħek.
The channel we're looking at now is Television Malta, the government-subsidized channel. Its ancestor started in 1962 as Malta Television and was the first free-to-air television venture Eurovision had outside of the UK, but in a country that was no longer colonial. I mean, strictly free-to-air, Rediffusion in Hong Kong as a television channel is associated with the cable network that existed between 1957 and 1973. Then it became the terrestrial RTV with Rediffusion, then ATV without Rediffusion, and then it shut down. Later, as Rediffusion was weakening, they were selling all of their assets in many parts of the world, or simply shutting them down. In Malta, the assets were sold to the government, and were renamed Shandir Malta. The channel changed to TVM sometime in the 1980s, while the parent's name changed twice. First to PBM, then to MTPBS, which apparently is listed in some Eurovision pages, and then finally just PBS. The last two mean Public Broadcasting Services Malta, no relation to the American PBS. Its main competitors are the Labour Party-owned One and the Nationalist Party-run Net. Meaning that TVM is the only large TV channel in Malta to be free of any kind of political influence. The commercial break we're looking at now is an enigma, as the video was posted in June 2007. A few months earlier, supposedly it was in March, the channel rebranded from this to this. In the early days of YouTube, it was commonplace to find footage that was actually posted months and years before the date of upload. Those were the days. The closest date I can pinpoint is the film being promoted as Il Film Tel Jimja, hang on, something like that. The film being promoted was The Good Shepherd, whose release date in Malta isn't even listed at the IMDb, so let's assume this comes from the dying days of the old TVM blocks motif, early in 2007. Small warning, because Malta is so bloody tiny, all the adverts here have that strange feeling that you wander towards the smaller ITV regions around the year 2000.
Tell you the news, or not?
What news?
That space is free again.
So the first advert, and likely the reason why we have the movie of the week, was for Embassy Cinemas, showing its complex. Complex of being a small country, you don't need any big chains.
It's not the space you wanted.
Let them all run its complex. Not much to say about this ad because we're talking over it, so let's move on to the first of two ads that are in English.
A pulse. The whole world has a pulse.
Yes, yes, life runs in cycles, deal with it.
Now, so does a toothbrush. Oral-B Pulsar. The Oral-B experts have created a whole new kind of manual brush. Micropulse bristles pivot and pulse deep between teeth for a truly superior clean. Feel that? That's Oral-B Pulsar. Changing the way you brush forever.
Because of the American English voiceover, it looks like the kind of thing you would stumble upon an early 90s pan-European satellite channel, or something along the lines of Eurosport International in this day and age. Even eToro advertises there.
كل ما تريد تعمل تشتري الكاندي جاي تريد ترسبوندي للمستوصيات فوق عن القبول تريد توفر زوج security stickers or without one price breakers in by order.
Apparently it's some kind of ad for some scratch and win competition to win a new Kia Rio.
ظهر tal-program tiegħi Showtime bl-għajnuna bis-saħħa tal-Easy Sell Kia Malta Limited flimkien ma' Thomas Group għandkom ċans tirbu din il-Kia Rio. U tieni premju huwa sofran valur 50 TPR Limited taħalluha. Ċajta. U lejna mal-Candy ġol m'hemmx ċajt.
And apparently it's an ad for a Kia dealer. At least we aren't looking at Wilkins Hyundai and Subaru. At least. That's it. That's the ad. Just shots its activities, no announcer. Chill out soundtrack and the aesthetical logo weaving in and out of the whole. We're already in the realm of local-ish adverts.
Allora prezzi tal-Ingilterra rikorru għal British Jet, Ritzy Street il-Awra, Embassy Complex il-Belt Valletta, jew mill-aeroport.
This was an ad for the short-lived tour operator British Jet, which at the time of this commercial break was past the midpoint of its operations. They're just promoting trips to the UK, deal with it. It falls in 2008 when some contract expired.
Bejn Marzu u Mejju ixtru mill-Embassy Complex il-Belt Valletta u parteċipaw fil-kompetizzjoni ġdida tal-Embassy. Imbagħad araw il-programm divertenti Showtime fuq TVN.
From what I understand, this seems to be a 2 or 3-way giveaway between TVN's Showtime, the Embassy Complex, and one of the stores inside it.
Id-disa neqso 20 nis fil-għaxija prepetizzjoni il-ħadd fit-tlieta u tistgħu tilħu kamra tas-sodda minn Carmelo Delia & Sons li tiswa 1500 lira. Ixtru mill-Embassy Complex araw Showtime u l-kamra tas-sodda minn Carmelo Delia & Sons tista' tkun tagħkom.
Intu kol din ix-xitwa jista' jkollok sample ma' Fantasy Tan. ċempel issa fuq 21801157.
Buy Fantasy Tan. Buy Fantasy Tan.
See? Numbers. Did you hear the numbers? Yeah. They're getting the phone number in English numbers.
This is like the sort of advert you would see in a smaller ITV region had the PLC never bought all companies in England, and if Carlton sold the West Country area to Welshmen with little to no knowledge or resources. Even the jingle has this kind of cheap and local radio station aesthetic.
Eagle K-Wear, leading manufacturers of corporate and school uniforms, whilst also specializing in designing and manufacturing of all the proactive sportswear.
Finally, another ad in English. Don't expect to see more of those in the break.
Trid ħarġa b'differenza għażla il-Ċiniż, Pezzer wara Kart. Great Dane Dynasty Chinese Restaurant huwa Danish Village li filan kollu flimkien ma' Life Entertainment.
Remember those generically lame Indian restaurant ads you got on theatrical circuits 40-odd years ago?
The taste of India. experience the taste of India.
The Kilo KZX semicolon 46 Indian restaurant. Only 30 yards below the cinema. Takeaway service available.
This seems to be its improved version, especially for a country as small as Malta.
Joffru wkoll catering għal kull tip ta' okkażjoni. Grill Dane u Dynasty Chinese Restaurant ġewwa Danish Village.
Tixtieq tkun part mit-tim ta' Eastline u saħansitra tipparteċipa f'Showtime?
Ah yes, a promo for what I think are auditions on Showtime. Variety shows, the cusp of television in much of mainland Europe. At least until they thought that kind of show was no longer profitable a few years back. Wonder if Colothos Apollonia hosted it.
Aceline.com jek toffri lezzjoni ta' spinakat għal kull età. Nibdew mill-klassi ta' student ta' 4 snin u nispeċjalizzaw fi spin ballet, modern jazz u hip hop kif ukoll fil-lezzjoni tal-kant. X'qed tistenna? ċimperissa fuq 2-1-4-9-2-6-1-7 għal aktar informazzjoni biex tkun parti mit-tim ta' Aceline.
Diamonds are forever.
Oh great, a jewelry ad! If it wasn't for the logo, then we would be in like the United Arab Emirates or something.
They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate to tease me. They want
Trilogy għal-passat, present u futur. Dejjem minn Sterling Jewelers.
You know what, I get the feeling that we are in a break during Showtime because during this part of the break I hear more references to it.
Jazlu, Natalie's Boutique ta' 60 Old Baker Street, Valletta. Natalie's Boutique toffri ħwejjeġ għal-marka ta' kull okkażjoni kemm iġwil kif ukoll eleganti. Għal-isba' ħwejjeġ fis-suq.
And that was Maltese television in late 2006, or very early 2007. The land of cheap adverts, often stuck in the past with static images and announcements, and the size of its country and population condemn it. Oh well. Gonna keep playing games before falling asleep. I'm feeling exhausted. Boutros Gali. A RandomMe entertainment production for Bob the Fish Productions. Hello, I'm currently in the middle of another episode of my appeal process, and if possible, check out the monetization. An ongoing story I started in December 2019. It has like a bunch of characters from cartoons and random sources and OCs. I know there are some loose ends in it, but I promise that soon I'll make it a more coherent story, link in the description. Don't forget to support my cause, Hands Across RandomMe. Link in the description as well. That I can return to my YouTube career. Remember, this is a motivational campaign. Please pay attention. This is a motivational campaign. Only I am allowed to do it. Only I am allowed to do the appeals.